A Spy for Freedom by Anna Weil. The dining room of the Dara House in Philadelphia, 1777. Anna Dara, narrator. This story is about my mother, Lydia Dara, a legendary hero of the American Revolution. She was a housewife living in Philadelphia in 1777. She was also a patriot spy. Lydia sits at the table folding napkins. There is a knock at the door. A redcoat officer enters. Redcoat officer number 1. Mrs. Dara. Lydia Dara. Yes. Redcoat officer number 1. This is a formal notice on behalf of the magnificent King George III of England. The British Army is taking your house to use for our meetings. Lydia Dara. But I have young children and nowhere to go. And Dara, narrator. Those words gushed from my mother's mouth. Her eyes were shimmering with tears. Later, General Howe let her stay in the house as long as she let the British use one room. It was a mistake for him, but luckily for the patriots. Lydia sneaks in and hides in the linen closet. British officers enter and sit at a table. General Howe, we will attack the Americans at White Marsh in 2 days. That should end the rebellion. Redcoat officer number 1 and Redcoat officer number 2 together. Yes, sir. The British leave. Lydia Dara, stepping out of the closet. General Washington must hear of this. Lydia quickly writes a note. She leaves after she has plunged it into her pocket. And Dara, narrator. My mother left the city to warn the American troops. On her way, she ran into my brother's friend, Thomas Craig, who was a militia soldier. A street in Philadelphia. Lydia enters from the left, walking quickly. Thomas is walking slowly, unaware that Lydia is approaching. Lydia Dara. Thomas Craig, is that you? Thomas Craig. Hello, Mrs. Dara. How is your family? Lydia quickly hands Thomas the piece of paper. As Thomas reads, his eyes get wider and wider. Thomas Craig. Thank you for this news, Mrs. Dara. I must warn General Washington of the British strategy. He runs off stage. And Dara, narrator. Because of my mother's information, the Americans had time to prepare. They were able to make the British force retreat at the Battle of White Marsh. British officers meeting in Dara's house. Lydia listened from the linen closet. Redcoat officer number 1, angry, confused. Our foes knew we were coming, but how? Redcoat officer number 2 looks around the room, shrugs. The walls must have ears. Another narrator. The walls did not have ears, but one patriot housewife did. Her quick action helped to bring the Americans to victory.